submit to your husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body of which he is the Saviour. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. These are the words as found in Ephesians 5:22-24. In today's show, we meet two women of the Bible who are more than happy to yield to their husband's will in the case of women who submit. Lily and Dan first met as student and lecturer.
We have known each other for about 3 years now. We met back in Kisumu when I was still in college and he was my lecturer.
But a lecturer and student relationship is unethical. So to maintain his professional integrity, Dan called it quits.
What I did was that when I saw I was interested in her, before even proposing to her, I voluntarily resigned.
Soon after his resignation came the Meet My Mum visit.
I would prefer they spend with my mom, chat, go to the kitchen, cook together.
And with a seal of approval from his mother, it was time to advance the relationship.
They clicked with my mom. She was not the first lady I'd taken to our place for a visit. And I think she was the third lady.
He plainly informed Lily of his intentions.
So when we came back from home, it took some 2 days. Then I took her out for an evening tea. I told her I would want you to be my future partner.
This may not have been the most romantic proposal ever, but in Lily's world, it worked just fine. They are planning their 1 million plus wedding. Only the word wedding holds very different meaning to different people. Now Dan is a clergyman.
I'm the youth chairman of the Diocese of All Saints Cathedral.
And the first engagement gift he gave Lily was the conversation from his roots to his Anglican conviction.
Being an Anglican, and I'd known her, she was not an Anglican, I would prefer she joins Anglicanism, that is the church, and subscribe to the traditions under which I believe.
But that was only the beginning.
So I listed to her that I am born again. I belong to the Anglican, the conservative side, not the liberal side.
You may want to consider this.
There is the fellowship which we attend, where the anthem is called Tukutendere. Yes, now that Tukutendere has particular traditions which are mainly for discipline of the members of the church, where whatever you own belongs mostly to the church. It's more of a socialist kind of life.
And this.
On our wedding night, we are planning to leave immediately for honeymoon. And our honeymoon, we don't want to stay in an hotel. It's not a holy place.
And of course, the groomsmen are all saved.
The people who are to be in my line are supposed to be born again people who I have their testimony and have my testimony. It's good they are my brothers, but again, I belong to another kingdom.
There will be no entertainment at the wedding.
First, the word entertainment to me is not acceptable. Me, I want to glorify Christ through my wedding. One of the committee members suggested that they are going to call Kayamba Africa. I said, what? That is not me.
Instead, the reception is going to be a glorification session.
I'm inviting people who worship.
And when it comes to singing and worshipping, the distinction is clear, at least according to Dan.
I'm not inviting people who can sing Christian music. That I call you and you sing Christian music in my wedding, then outside there you go and sing other thing. You are someone who can sing anything. So, but because here you are conditioned to sing Christian music, you are singing it there. No, that is not me. The person who is coming here to have time in my wedding is someone who is a totally worshipper. His main occupation is to worship the Lord.
To top it all off,
another thing is having wine to toast during cutting of cake. To us, wine is more of alcohol and it's thing of the world. It does not glorify the Jesus we serve.
So, what are we toasting to?
We have settled on Ribena.
Say what?
Ribena. We compromised at Ribena because I wanted the milk, the mursik.
Yes, you got that right. Take it or leave it. This is going to be a very, very conservative wedding.
Most of the things which people think are normal, to us, they don't add value to our Christian life.
So much restraint, in fact, that there will be no evening party.
They are talking of us having an evening party. To me, evening party is not a Christian celebration.
Coincidentally, our next groom is also called Dan. And who would have thought? The two Dans are friends.
We share a common friend.
They are getting married on the same day. In fact, they nearly shared a best man.
We were meant to share the same best man, but when he had made the arrangements, so the best man at some point was torn between the two. So I made it easy for him. I told him, okay, you can go ahead, I'll get somebody.
But of course, they are marrying different women. And the choice of church is quite a big deal.
It is so funny because initially when he had given me some tasks to do, so I went ahead and chose the first church. He said no, the second one. No, I said now which is your church now? Because they're all Anglican churches for crying out loud.
The wedding must happen in his church.
What happens about the church? In our community, the wedding, it's me who is wedding. It's not the lady wedding, so I wouldn't really go to their church.
After all, he is the host.
Actually, when in the wedding setup, their people come as guests. So we are the host.
Talking of being the host, the groom would love a card-only wedding.
Initially, that's what I wanted.
But the bride has a different story.
No, it's not a cards only thing. To me, I want my friends to be there for the wedding and my relatives to be there. It's once in a lifetime thing.
He may give this to her, but don't celebrate too fast.
There are those things that we can discuss together. Then there are those things that, as much as she's going to talk about them, I'll still just have to decide.
The bride is not going to have much leeway. She changes her mind way too often for the groom's liking.
She's annoying. You know, she had chosen some card. So she arrives there and sees another card. Is like, I need this one.
Sophie met Dan as a patient in the hospital where she works.
I do many things. I must have been at casualty that day.
We have known each other for 4 years. We met when I was sick. She took good care of me. She was nice. She was kind. There is that chemistry that you just feel like, okay, I want to know this lady more.
And Dan, ready to settle down, tried his luck by popping the big question 6 months later.
After some time now, I had to be like, okay, find me. I'm ready to get to your home.
Sophie, even though normally passive, found her voice. She declined his marriage proposal.
I was not ready.
It was not until they had a car accident that Sophie decided that maybe it is better late than never.
We had some accident. That now brought us much closer.
We took time to catch up, and then we decided maybe we were meant to be with each other.
With a set date, a yellow and black colour scheme, and a wedding coordinator on board.
The moment she said yes and gave the date, I went full blast.
The bride is entrusting the two men with the wedding plans.
We sourced for the wedding planner.
This is not the first time I'm meeting Sophie. And she came even to my wedding and marveled everything and asked me who organized for your wedding. And I said I was my own event planner. So she left it. She sort of trusted me and the groom.
All she needs to worry about is the weather.
On the wedding day, the most important thing is a beautiful weather.
And oh, you can rest assured there will be entertainment. Only they have no venue. Dan and Lily cannot wait to be officially pronounced Mr. and Mrs. But before the big day and night, the bride and groom must plan their wedding. And just like you must have guessed, the groom is taking charge. First, his dream is to make a tour of the city in a horse-drawn carriage. The carriage has a majestic feel, granted, but these services are not necessarily available at His Majesty's beckon.
It takes a week training just to refresh, practice everything, remind them how to go in the traffic, because the horses have to learn the traffic and a very special situation. These horses learn the matatu feeling.
So to ensure they secure the carriage, Dan has tagged his wife along for a visit to the stable 5 months to the wedding.
These horses, this service is very exclusive.
And for very good reason, the horse-drawn carriage does not come cheap, you know.
A lot of people say we are expensive, and we say yes, we are very expensive, but it's for a very good reason. Yeah? Because if you want something really exclusive, something royal, then you come to us. And on your wedding day, you will feel like Cinderella herself. And you like the Prince Charming himself.
To give the couple a feel of the majestic splendor, their supplier is indulging Dan and Lily with a test drive.
It was beautiful. The ride was nice.
Jacket, no jacket?
Yeah, I can't wait for that time to come.
This is just a small peek of what they can expect come wedding day. It is 5 months to the wedding. Time to get the committee together. The bride cannot make it, so the groom is in attendance on her behalf.
She's represented in this meeting by her sister.
Some of the committee members will also be suppliers for the wedding.
We're doing the cards, we're doing the video, and gifts, transportation, the PA. Yeah.
For Felbrum agencies, we are doing the catering, outside catering for the wedding. We're also going to do the interior decor, that is decoration for the church, both for the church and the reception. And also we are, for the part of the catering, we are also going to do customized water supply for the wedding with their pictures custom made.
And to bring the members up to speed.
So we went also to the place where the horses are kept. There's a saddle. Yes, we saw various horses, the ones which played polo. We also had a test drive with the 4 horses, and it was enjoyable. The whole thing looked so beautiful and nice. Even that place was in Kare. It's a good serene environment, and the way they do the things were a bit professional. I loved it.
Looks like the visit to the stables was a worthwhile one.
The Royal Affair, who are providing us with a horse-drawn carriage. I asked them what is the difference between a carriage and a chariot. The carriage is for special occasions, yes, while the chariot is generally from the point of war or something like that.
Eye-opening indeed. All seems to be adding up, apart from the math.
The public address system, you have paid nothing. The gift transportation, you have paid nothing. Video coverage and photography, you have not paid anything. The cake, you have not yet paid.
There is a budget deficit.
So far we have raised 334,000 Kenya shillings. We are still expecting 753,720 shillings.
And with the months passing by so quickly, the committee must find a solution if the couple is to pull through. The wedding will be at All Saints Cathedral, and the plan is to have the horses harnessed and ready from inside Uhuru Park. But there is bad news.
I've been at the city council trying to find a way if I can get the parking for us to be able to harness our horses. We have bylaws whereby live animals are not accepted in the park.
Meanwhile, Dan and Sophie are treading on dangerous grounds.
I must say that I'm a relaxed bride. I'm really not doing any running around.
2 months to the wedding, and the cards are not out.
I've already submitted and allowed the groom to make the decisions, of course with consultations from me.
They have no venue yet, but the plans have to go on. So Ben, the groom's friend and couples coordinator, has swung into action. He is getting the details out of the way, and his first stop is at the stationery supplier.
The sample of the card that you're supposed to do, you managed?
Okay, we did a sample of the card.
Yeah.
And I was looking at your colors, which is yellow and gold.
Yeah.
And black.
Yeah.
So the reason why we came up with this color is we didn't want to put a lot of black in the card.
Because otherwise it will be dull.
Yes, it will come out a bit dull. So I had to put some accessories on it just to enhance the card because of the simplicity of it. So this is what we came up with.
Wow.
Yes.
Brilliant. I think I like it.
Okay.
I hope they will like it.
His job is to help the groom deliver the bride's wishes.
The groom had also wished to surprise the bride.
Okay.
And I know you guys do serviettes, right?
Yes.
I would also like these serviettes in this color.
Okay.
Is it possible to have these serviettes in yellow and black?
Yes, we have yellow
it's
and
possible.
black serviettes, yes.
Okay.
And,
printed on them?
Printed on them. Okay, the serviettes are yellow.
Yes.
And there's black serviettes.
Yes.
So we print it using gold.
Okay, so that it comes out.
So that it comes out.
And on yellow? Will gold really come out on yellow?
It will come out.
And he seems on track with that.
So definitely, we'll have serviettes.
Yes.
They even plan on surprising the bride.
This is very important because this is one of the surprises.
Okay.
That the groom is going to surprise the bride.
Okay.
Vintage wedding also has cars, vintage cars.
Yes. These are some of the vintage cars we have. I'm looking at it that for your color, I don't think you have to go for a red, color.
No.
A white color, vintage car, Austin 16, I think would be an ideal one for you.
Yeah, I think this will work. The bride emphasized on a vintage car.
Okay.
It was her wish to have a vintage car. So can I have a copy of this photo so that I'm able to also do the cake, advise the person doing the cake on this shape?
Yes.
It would be possible.
No, that's very possible.
If I can go scan it and then return back
we can do that
original.
for you.
You can do that for me.
Yeah, we can scan for you the photo.
And then I can come and pick it up. Something else. Mineral water.
Yes.
And I would love labeled mineral water. Can you do that?
Yes, we can do
mineral
water.
So what would you require? Like how soon? You know, really time is not with us. Like how soon?
We are looking at 2 months to the wedding. So what we do is we come up with a design. You have to approve the design. This will take like about, let's say, 1 week.
Wow.
Then doing the work, we give us 2 weeks so that we don't rush to finish up the work.
Okay.
And a little learning on the job can go a long way, you know.
I know you're quite experienced in this.
Okay.
What would be your suggestion? Because we want a gift registry book.
On top of what we give, on top of the vintage cars and the cards, we add some additions. Like we give you a certificate holder. For us, we feel...
You said a certificate? Certificate holder.
Certificate holder.
Okay. What else?
Certificate holder is the ring pillow.
Ring pillow?
Yes.
What is this ring pillow?
The ring pillow is for carrying the rings.
Wow.
The men may be in control, but if there is one thing giving the bride nightmares, then it is the wedding cake.
What I'm particular about on my wedding is a cake. Because I attended a friend's wedding once where the cake never came. There was no cake.
So armed with a photo and crossed fingers, the bride is ready to have this discussion.
I brought a photo because we had discussed about one time of the cake being a vintage car.
Oh, a vintage, eh? Oh, yes. Beautiful, beautiful.
She can only hope that her baker will come through for her.
Yes, I can see here on the record that actually your wedding will be on 28th of August.
Yes.
This year. And then we're talking about 60 years.
Yes.
And 350 cupcakes.
Yes, 350 cupcakes.
And then we have the other designs. We have the petal. Then with the big relays. The cake will be white. Then we have also lilies and sunflower yellow. The ribbon is black. The bias down there is black and soft yellow. Yes. So that means the 5 tiers will be petal, petal design, and then 1 vintage.
And just to reiterate her fears, she cannot stress this enough.
Can you believe there was a wedding I went to some time back? There was no cake. The cake never came because whoever was making the cake thought the wedding would be the next weekend.
Now what are we talking about here?
The cake did not come.
No, that should not happen. That's a nightmare, that should not happen.
But with no news of a venue and the cards pending...
So far, so good, but the other issue is that it's 2 months to the wedding and I still don't have a venue.
Let's hope that the bride can rest assured of having cake on her wedding day. Back to Lily and Dan's wedding. The committee is putting together a rescue mission.
Today was a high tea. It's just to enable us to gather some friends who are not able to come to the meetings to help us raise funds. So it will help me to clear part of the deficit.
But even the Harambe does not pull them out of the mud.
The budget was at 1.087. By the time we were going for the high tea, we were having a deficit of 600.
With just 2 months to go and a whopping 150,000 shilling budget deficit.
We were not able to reach the target as such.
This can only mean one thing. Dan and Lily must scale down their wedding dreams.
We revised some of the supplies which we had budgeted for. The food, we had to revise the menu a bit. Initially we had put chicken for everybody, so we removed it we put only the high table. We also revised the dressing of chairs, not all of them dressed because there are so many, so we are only dressing a few.
There is going to be a horse carriage, fine. The groom too wants his share of a ride on the carriage to the photo session grounds.
I want to ride on Uhuru Highway. My dream is to ride on that road on the horse.
And with major road construction in progress and a closed road, this may not be possible.
My initial dream that you from the church you are to go to the photo session, but now that the construction is there and it's blocked, it's logical.
It is 3 weeks to Sophie and Dan's wedding, so the bride is in search of the perfect dress.
How are you?
Fine.
When's your wedding?
28th August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me, you have an idea of what you're looking for?
Yes, I want a fitting gown.
What do you mean a fitting?
Fitting, like, I don't want something bulky. I want something straight.
Straight?
I don't know which word to use. You can tell me the right word.
Okay, maybe an airline, eh? Because
Yes.
for your size, a fitting. Trust me. So airline, fitting here and then it flows.
Fitting here and then it flows down.
So that's an airline, eh?
After some bridal lingo, the bride can try on what her heart desires.
Seen one, and then I don't know. I want something ivory, something off-white.
Off-white, eh?
She may be late, but she finds just what she dreamt of. But somehow, there is news that the groom is outside.
Yeah, he's so funny. Tell him not to come inside here.
Wait, he's outside?
Yeah.
Tell him not to come in.
And there is a moment of panic. He cannot see the dress before the wedding.
What's the big deal?
He's not supposed to see the dress.
Why would he want to see?
Before the wedding.
Phew, thank God he left. Sophie has no venue yet, but wherever it will be, she will show up in a gown.
Yes, I think I found my gown. This is the one. I'm not getting another one.
How about the bridesmaids? The bride has chosen a beautiful design in the day's colours, but some of the girls beg to differ.
And you remove this flower?
Yeah. Oh, you don't want it? It's for everyone. It will be uniform, Tabi.
Maybe they need a reminder about who the bride is here.
It's only going to be for a short time. Maybe look yourself at the nini. Just look at yourself at the mirror and see how beautiful the flower is.
And like others concur, uniformity is key.
Oh, you don't mind about the flower?
No,
all of us.
All of them will have flowers.
You must have, Celia.
All of us.
Good girl.
The bridesmaids have no choice but to wear what the bride wants to see them in.
I know you don't like the flower, but I think it looks good on the dress.
Seriously?
Yeah, but I'm saying because I want everyone to look uniform. And it's my day. For only one day, just persevere to have that flower.
As they ponder over that, the bride has spotted yet another gown.
Okay. This is also beautiful. What happens now that I've already seen another beautiful gown the other side?
You have fitted a gown already?
Yes.
Oh,
And this
have you paid deposit for it?
Yes, and this looks more beautiful than the other one.
Try it on. If it's beautiful, you can forfeit your deposit.
As for which is which and what is what, well, let's just see what she'll wear on her wedding day. Good news! There is a venue at last. It is 2 weeks to the wedding, and after months of frantic searching...
It was a daunting task for us to get the venue. 2 weeks too. We still didn't have a venue.
Sophie and Dan are having a restaurant closed off to host their 500 guests.
This is a busy restaurant, and it will have to be closed for the day. Just for the big day of Daniel and Sophie.
They wanted their guests well fed and have selected an African menu for the day.
Yes. Ranolo is a renowned name, and feeding 500 people should not be a problem to Ranolo. We'll give them a memorable day, and the food will be excellent. The way you find it at the restaurant, that is what we'll have it here. Basically, simple African menu. Being a Luo wedding, we have to have a lot of fish, so we'll have a variety.
And yes, you saw right. That is local comedian Jalango. He will be the day's master of ceremony.
Make sure that your photo shoot is actually near as possible
or
along the way to your reception.
The boys have pulled this together.
You realize, as much as she has been a bit inactive in making the decision, which mostly has been done by Ben because he organizes, you realize her own interest has always been taken care of. Like when it came to about the card, we had several samples of card, but at the end of it, what she chose had to be taken. When it came to cake, what she chose had to be taken.
You can imagine today is like 2 days to the wedding, and Dan is very relaxed. At this time, usually tempers are high, and you feel like nothing has happened. You want to jump on top of the roof.
Only they have pulled apart the budget in the process.
Initially, we planned for about 700,000.
But now we are doing 1 point.
It is Dan and Lily's wedding day, and as per the groom's wishes, this is purely a worship day. There's going to be not much ado for the service. So with the groom and his groomsmen, who are his saved brothers in church, the bride is expected to arrive, and she does shortly. She makes her entry last hymn opens the celebration. The ceremony whisks by, and in no time at all, Dan and Lily are husband and wife. The wedding is a day after the promulgation of the Constitution, and there is less traffic in town, so the groom can have his lifelong dream, a ride on the carriage into the city centre. The reception is equally short and to the point. They cut the cake before the reception can fold. And just like he chose, a toast with sour milk marks the end of the day.
It's been a great day, and we are happy, and we are happy.
The things which some of them didn't go right were like timing. Our church service was cut short because we were late because of logistics. So, but we thank God the short service was also fine. But all the same, everything went as planned, and we thank God because it's beautiful. And I thank God because everything is fine in the name of the Lord.
Sophie and Dan's wedding is at St. Stephen's Anglican Church. With 4 weddings lined up after theirs, the program is timed to the minute.
There are 4 weddings happening here, so we cannot afford not to keep time. We just have to keep time.
And the coordinator is on the ground to ensure things are going exactly to plan.
The groom is already here, everything is set, and we are expecting the bride to come any moment now.
The church ceremony begins at 10 a.m. and the bride will be walking down to a live performance by the Administration Police Brass Band.
We were also expecting a brass band to be here, and they'll be here shortly. They've had a couple of job to do owing to the fact that yesterday was the promulgation of the Constitution.
The groom and his groomsmen are all dressed for the occasion.
We've been friends for quite some time. They've taken the pain to be with me, ensure I'm strong up to this last moment.
The church is decorated and the aisle runners set for the beginning of the ceremony. And even the bride is on her way. Only the band has not yet arrived.
The band, they left and they are not yet here. We are trying to get where they are.
Soon the bridal entourage jets in. But there is no sign of the bride. The bridal car is empty. Ah, there she is.
You're looking for me in the vintage? Surprise.
Surprise.
Everyone was waiting for me to come out of there.
The vintage car was delayed. The bride chose to ride in a Mercedes-Benz instead.
Yeah, I was worried about the time, but we made it on time. I just pray for a beautiful day. The weather is good, and that is the most important thing.
And of course, with such enlightened generations for your uncles, what do you expect?
We've got high standards where we come from, about everything. She is a third generation of people who are extremely enlightened. She's asking me why we are punctual. The reason is, apart from anything else, we have just started with the new constitution and our whole attitudes have to change. We don't behave the way we used to behave. If it's 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. And we come 30 minutes earlier.
But do we say? The band is delayed, but the ceremony has to start on time.
They are stuck somewhere in the jam, but we really have to move on. So I'll use an alternative, a backup. My backup are selected songs.
And with the bride and groom here, the rest can be late. The bridesmaids march in halfway down the aisle. Their bright two-piece ensemble of black A-line skirts and yellow corset tops have been made to measure. And just like the bride chose, the design has a polka dot rosette for a girly feel. Right on time, the bride makes her way, escorted down by her mother, and if you remember, her enlightened uncle. She opted to stick with her first choice of an off-white spaghetti strap side drape wedding gown. And even her mother has coordinated her own attire with the day's colours. Finally, the band is here. They missed out on the grand entrance. And to make it up to the bride, they serenade the couple during the service. Sophie and Dan exchange vows in a short ceremony.
I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage.
With my body, I honor you.
And all that I have, I share with you within the love of God.
The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
The brass band leads the recession to end the formalities of the day. A musical welcome awaits the bride at the reception. By the band. And of course, the day does not end without the cutting of the cake. They may have been conservative. There may have been some constraints. There may have even been a few moments of panic. But on the day, with family and friends and their very own committee of experts, it is a perfect end and a beautiful beginning. Connect with us on our Facebook fun page and visit www.SAMANTHA-THE samanthasbridal.co.ke.